Good evening, friends. This side Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multi asset, multinational hedge fund, which precisely means we are taking positions in various asset classes of the globe. And we take positions at multiple locations across the globe. But like I repeated many times, that we are a proprietary hedge fund. By proprietary, I mean to say no third party. I repeat, no third party can invest capital in our funds. Treasury Consulting do not entertain any third party capital in the funds. You know that from time to time, effective 2018, our YouTube channel is covering the startup story of the globe. And again, repeat that when in 2018 I started covering the startup story, I got criticized by Einstein, Edison's, Newton's that one day these startups would become profitable, and more importantly, these startups would create a history in India and worldwide. Today, what is happening with these startups, we all aware of. Today, I am going to be cover one more startup, which is called Unacademy. I hope you people are watching IPL, Indian Premier League. Unfortunately, I am getting very limited time, but whatever time I get, I definitely watch IPL as and when. When you watch IPL, you got to know that various loss-making startups publicize during the IPL matches. Example, Paytm. Example, Unacademy. Example, your Cred. And the list is really very, very long. And you also heard that in this latest digital rights distribution, which is done by BCCI, they accumulated a very handsome money because common sense, IPL is now very famous. The players across the globe are coming, they participate, lot of matches, and fanfare and each and everything, which is good, definitely good. But the flip side is, the advertisement cost of IPL won't be in 1,000 rupees, probably 2,000 rupees. It would be very huge because if the digital rights are extremely, extremely expensive, so would be the advertisement rights. Common sense, And Unacademy is being one of the great loss-making unicorns who participated in IPL thoroughly. Now, it does raises a very big question, at least to me. Probably it do not raise any questions to you, but it does raise questions to me, which is, being a loss-making company, a company who never reported profits, you have so much money, I repeat, you have so much money to spend on the advertisement, right? And what is the end result, guys? The end result is, just check it out. According to the public information, which is available on the Google, because, Unacademy and all these loss-making startups, information is available on the Google, but unfortunately, people do not track Google, but I do. In financial year 20, Unacademy reported a loss of around 260 crores. 260 Indian rupees. All figures are in Indian rupees. So in financial year 20, Unacademy reported a loss of 260 crores. In financial year 21, the loss grew to 1540, approximately 1540 crores. You heard me very right, guys. 1540 crores. From 260 crores to 1540 crores. Financial year 22, which means as of March 2022, Unacademy broke all records. And, as per the Google, their losses for the year financial year 22 is approximately 2,850 crores. Approximately 2,850 crores, which means you almost double it, which means financial year 21 you was around 1540 crores. Financial year 22 you almost around 2850 crores, which means you almost doubled it. This is called the great EdTech model. EdTech means the educational technologies model. This is the model which was hyped, I repeat, which was hyped by, our corrupt media. And it is not the Unacademy. Byju's very recently in financial year 21, because financial year 22 number not yet disclosed. In financial year 21, they reported 4,500 crores. You heard me very right. Revenue is around 2,200 crores, but their losses are 4,500 crores. So first of all, before moving ahead, I would like to congratulate to our media, to the paid speakers, paid anchors, and corrupt editors of magazines who hyped this EdTech model, fooled millions of investors, governments, credit rating agencies, and whatnot. And now the reality is almost on the table. So I would like to congratulate all of them because they really did a very stupendous job in making sure which looks impossible. Before we move further, EdTech model got hyped in 2020. And why it got hyped in 2020? Because of coronavirus. When coronavirus spread it across the globe and almost the whole planet was locked down, no country was exception in this regard. Millions of people lost their life, unaccounted people lost their jobs, huge destruction to the global wealth, telecommunication, the shipping industry, the aviation industry, the merchandise industry, and whatnot. This fancy EdTech, educational technologies, came into the picture. And what was this fancy EdTech? It is that the people would continue to learn, but rather than having a one-to-one or in-person classes, which is known as classroom teaching, now the people would be learning on computers. So they would be sitting at their home, probably their workstations, and they would be learning online, which means that basically the primitive idea was that this learning would continue. If you refer my YouTube channel, I was even in 2020 having of opinion that the virus would stay, but eventually it would tune down, and probably in couple of years or so the world would back to normal with heavy precautions. And today the same thing is happening. Aviation is open, merchandise is open, goods and services is open, Schools are open, colleges are open, cricket matches very recently happened in Dubai. As we speak, the World Cup of the cricket is happening in Australia. Different individual cricket leagues between two countries are happening at respective places. The government meetings are going on. So, more or less, the globe is now open. God forbid, until otherwise another mess came into the picture, the world is more or less open, which means the heavy investments, I repeat, the heavy investments made by the Einstein, Edisons, and Newtons, also known as private equity and venture capitalist firm, it all wasted. We have seen Vedantu, we have seen the Byjus, we have seen many EdTech, those who are losing money over the money. I repeat, those who are losing money over the money. Regarding Unacademy, there are two theories. Number one is that Unacademy fired more than 1,000 people in the last few months. More than 1,000 people, but according to the official statistics provided by the company, I don't know whether you trust these statistics or you do not trust these statistics, that is up to you. But according to the official statistics provided by the company, they fired near about 600 to 700 people. I tend to disregard the official statistics because I knew that official statistics, whether it is of government or it is from a private sector, especially the loss making of India, I always disregard that. Guys, if you open Google, you would get to know that Unacademy is now doing all sorts of cost cutting. I repeat, all sorts of cost cutting to make sure that they would be able to save themselves. We all know that the hype which is created by the corrupt media, the magazines, the newspapers, the paid anchors, the paid surveys, the venture capitalist lobby, this hype is now over. Because not a single, I repeat, not a single EdTech company is profitable as we speak. We have seen Vedantu, we have seen Byju's, we have seen Unacademy. Regarding Byju's, there are various, I would say, articles in the public domain, and I personally agree with few of the articles that we should thoroughly check the financial structure of Byju's. How come they able to accumulate so much money, rather unaccounted money, from private equity and venture capitalist firm? And the interesting piece is that this money is used to buy the companies worldwide. It is not that they bought the companies in India. Few they bought in India, few they bought in US, few bought in different parts of the globe. Who funded them? According to the public information, Byju's is now having around 50,000 employees as far as the Google information is concerned. And Byju's claim that they are cutting 5% of the jobs, which means approximately 2,500 jobs, approximately. But I tend to disregard, because once your losses are mounting, like anything, example, your revenue is 2,200 crores and your losses is 4,500 crores, which precisely means behind 1 rupee of revenue, I repeat, you have 2 rupees of losses. Unacademy is also not having superior performance in this regard. Guys, now both Byju's and Unacademy and many other EdTech startups, they started launching their in-person tuition centers. In-person tuition centers, which means Like you have various tuition centers in India in different parts of the globe, you know, and you all understand that in-person tuition centers is subject to heavy cost, which means you are bound to have a very good tuition center, security, air conditioning, the benches, furnitures, fixtures, insurance, whitewash, teachers, most important, electricity bill. This all is fixed. You cannot run away. You cannot run away from this cost. You have to pay to teacher even if somebody come in the class or somebody do not come in the class. You have to pay the electricity bill whether there is any student in the class or there is no student in the class. You have to pay the insurance cost whether you are making any money or you are not making any money, and all these costs, and you all understand that this cost is expensive, very, very expensive. Byju's claim that they are, now recruiting 10,000 teachers within India. 10,000 teachers. So just take a simplistic cost, very simplistic. They pay 10 lakhs to one teacher, which is very minimum because, 10 lakh is the average salary which people are getting. 10 lakhs into 10,000, multiply yourself, and you would get to know this is the salary cost they are having in their books. Salary cost they are having in their books. 10 lakhs into 10,000. It raises a big question whether Byju's would be able to afford this. Unacademy is not different. They are also opening their in-person centers. And like I said, many EdTech companies in India, the so-called, I would say, they are opening their in-person centers. I would like to ask questions from my audience that after having a huge mess up which these companies created in the online learning, we have ample of articles on the Google which claim that Byju's missold their products to poor parents, illiterate parents, and articles are there on the Google. I not wrote any of the articles. Articles are wrote by the media. And I would like to let you know in my next part that how this model is going to collapse very soon. Like in 2018, I predicted that SoftBank would collapse. And as we speak, by 2022, SoftBank is almost on the verge of collapse. In this quarter, which has just passed, they reported around 23 billion US dollars. You heard me very right. 23 billion US dollars of losses. The Vision Fund, without any vision, is losing at a very fastest pace. Around 30% of the work strength is being reduced, rather fired. That would be appropriate word. Majority of the companies in which SoftBank invested, they are in deep red. Very recently, SoftBank quitted from one of their companies and reported 450 million GBP. 450 million GBP worth of losses. Very good. It means rather than making any money, rather than earning money, you lost 450 million GBP, which is around 600 million US dollars. It means this 600 million US dollars is definitely not of SoftBank. This is of the investors, those who invested in the SoftBank, and SoftBank further invested this in some companies. So this 600 million which SoftBank booked as a mark to market losses, this is of the investors. What I feel is that the world is moving towards depression, and this depression would get severe now. How? This video is as of 31st October 2022, and I know that the thing which I'm trying to link, most of the people won't understand that link. I don't know whether it was ethical or it was unethical. I don't know about that. Neither I wanted to enter into this debate, but Ukraine attacked the Black Sea fleet of Russia in Crimea. Crimea means it was part of Ukraine, but in 2014, Russia got it from Ukraine. Leave aside the politics and everything. So 2 days ago, Ukraine attacked the Black Sea fleet of Russia, and today on 31st October, when I was searching the internet, doing my, research, like I told you, I got to know that a very expensive warship, very expensive and very, I would say, modernized warship of Russia is being hit by the drones. Although no confirmed information till what extent the damage, whether the warship is completely damaged, how much money Russia would be spending to refunction this warship and everything, we have no such information as we speak. And immediately, I would say, within few hours of this attack on Crimea, Russia just countlessly fired missiles on Ukraine, Kyiv, and which hurted the civil infrastructure of Kyiv. Another denting thing which Russia did is that they blocked the grain deal, which means the UN, United Nations, Turkey, Ukraine and Russia somehow, I repeat, somehow agreed that on a humanitarian ground, the wheat which Ukraine is producing, which is around 45 million metric ton, this wheat would let Ukraine to export this wheat, else there would be a global food crisis, because 45 million metric ton is not a small amount. I hope so. And somehow UN, Turkey and Ukraine agreed Russia on this front, and out of 45 million, 8 million is already being exported. But now Russia made one thing very clear in the public, that this grain deal from the Black Sea is indefinitely postponed. Indefinitely. And they also mentioned that if they spot any ship, they would be attacking, and Russia and Russian army or maybe navy or whatever unit taking no moral responsibility, which means that now the inflation, which is already soaring in many countries, it has reached over 80%. This inflation would become more severe, rather maybe unexpected, because now the wheat which Ukraine produced would be in their warehouses. How long? Probably few months. Wheat is a perishable product, right? You can't hold the wheat for a longer period of time. Probably few months and wheat is over rotted. The mouse and the different animals would be eating that wheat, so it is zero. It means that this wheat would of no use. No human can eat that wheat. It means that the depression which we were expecting to hit in 2023, this depression would be much earlier than we anticipated. Much earlier than we anticipated. And as I speak, private equity and venture capitalist firm are sitting on 1.9 trillion. You heard me very right. I got this data from Google. 1.9 trillion worth of the powder, Now you must be thinking, what is powder? Powder, in the parlance of private equity and venture capitalists, means the money which they are holding. It is in the bank accounts, mutual funds, term deposit, but they are not investing this money in the companies because they are not finding any good companies to invest. And this is 1.9 trillion. So those who are saying that the startups are not getting the money in India, according to the public information in this quarter, which has ended in September, the startup funding down by 80%. 80%, you heard me very right, which means if in the quarter 2 the funding was $100, in the quarter 3 it is $20. India hasn't engaged any war with Pakistan or maybe any other country. India is neutral, and which is very good. I appreciate that. India is neutral, no involvement in any war, nothing like that. But still, the startup funding is down by 80%. It's not that people don't have the money. People have the money. The point is they are not finding Indian startups useful to invest, because Byju's, Flipkart, Swiggy, Zomato, Policy Bazaar, Lenskart, Delivery, Ola, Uber, and list is pretty long. Oyo, everywhere there are losses. Everywhere there are losses and unaccountable losses. Guys, this EdTech model, which was built on a hype, the EdTech model, which was built by the paid, corrupt, and compromised media, this EdTech model would collapse. I am telling you right now. And thousands of jobs, I would say, thousands of jobs would lose. Unaccounted losses to be booked by private equity and venture capitalist firm, and they are already booking. A huge mess would happen very soon, because now slowly and eventually the world is moving towards the in-person learning. India is a country when, with due respect, every corner of a city, you have one tuition center. Every corner of the city. Rather, India is a country when, you have places like ITO in New Delhi. You have many places, those where you have hundreds of tuition centers, hundreds of, not one, hundreds of tuition centers. So it means that the in-person learning would definitely put huge hit on the online learning. And we all understand, I repeat, we all understand that online learning cannot replace in-person learning. Of course, online learning have many advantages, there is no doubt about that, but in-person learning also have more advantages. Guys, I would like to conclude that in financial year 20, 260 crores, financial year 21, around 1540 crores, financial year 22, around 2850 crores, few more years, and it's all wind up. One of our predictions of the failures of EdTech platforms came into the picture, but I'm seriously worried that the people, those who are working in these companies, what would happen to them? Global economic is very, very poor. Jobs are cutting down. If you ask to be a redundant employee, I don't know whether you find any suitable job or you do not find any suitable job. But unfortunately, the EdTech model which we built, rather hyped, I would say, that's a better word, and this model is standing on huge losses. this model is bound to collapse. I know that after listening to this video, many Einstein, Edisons, Newtons, they would again criticize me, because they would start feeling this person is again telling something which no one is telling, something which is a reality, something which is numerically correct, something which is happening, something which is real. But how can we praise this person? Because what he predicted in 2018 is now turning true, but our ego, our selfish attitude is coming forward not to praise this person. But to me, it hardly matters. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You knew my personal number, +91 9899 242 978. I repeat, +91 9899 242 978. Thank you guys, and have a great time.